What's up, y'all? Good Monday. Good to see y'all. Listen, y'all. If y'all don't know, this is TFG Tonight, and I'm your host, Mr. Haynes. And this is the best morning show that you can watch at night. Y'all listen, that's Devin, that's Lee, and that's Kenny.
I'm trying to be nice.
Black said we got two Americans.
Say to my brother Black, man, I think you could be a preacher. I ain't never heard somebody that use a curse word and then read a scripture right after.
So let me state for the record, I am a misogynist. You know?
Yeah.
Pull out your card, Doc. He's
and I'm a chauvinist as well. Anybody who knows me knows that.
That's right.
Now I can go back to minding my own business. Either that boy is Benjamin Button or somebody lying.
And listen, and that boy may be mentally 12, but he's 34.
You bad boy, you don't do it again.
I'll let Black articulate a little bit better than that.
Nope.
Okay.
Never mind.
It's good for the soul. It's like medicine. Right?
Yeah, for real.
That's all I gotta say. I wish I had one of them applause buttons too, like that.
Good morning, y'all. Happy Monday.
Oh, what a good day it is. Hey, y'all. It is Monday. Folks is piling in already. We at 3, 6. Y'all climb on in here then. What y'all want to talk about today? It is Monday. It's been 7 days since we seen y'all. Listen, everybody, and the whole family's here. We got plenty to talk about, and I'm not going to waste no time because, honey, I don't know how big Sister's cup is this evening, but I don't think we're going to. We ain't gonna make that. You gonna finish that. You gonna finish that before we get through. What's up, fellas? Y'all doing all right?
Yes, sir.
I love it. Sister, what that say on your shirt, Marvel? That's
Travel more, worry less.
and she means it. She means it. Listen, I'm too excited. Everybody, good to see y'all that's in the building. I'm not gonna waste time playing around because I got things to talk about and we got people to talk about, so y'all know what time it is. If we say something y'all love to hear, which sounds like we ain't been saying much here lately, but it's all right. At least y'all ain't saying me nothing. But okay, yeah. But anyway, y'all know what we do. Talking point tip jars, right? And so y'all holler at us if y'all hear us saying something. But I'm not gonna play around. Listen, it's a lot going on today in them streets and the politics, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump and his crew, I believe it was about 20 of them. They got arrested and arraigned, and we talked about him going to Fulton County, and I think he may be on what's that season 8, 9, whatever season they're gonna be on. He may be in there by the time they get to it again. So I don't know, but I found it really interesting, y'all. Out of all of those people that got arrested, they kept one of them, and they kept the nigga.
Yep.
Out of all of them, they kept the brother. I said, "Boy, you can't win for losing, can you?" I tell you, boy. Even when y'all all in trouble, they still find a way to kind of give you the short end of the stick, man. But I don't know what he did. He may have had a different warrant after his arrest. I don't know, but they kept the brother. That's all I know. So, but anyway, but one more thing I want to talk about is, y'all, the debt. Apparently it went up about $9 billion in 1 week. No, $97 billion. Oh, no, we had $97 trillion. I'm sorry. And it climbed up pretty quickly in 1 week. I don't know what's going on. Who's spending all this money, y'all? They sure ain't spending it on us.
No, definitely ain't spending it on us.
It's called bait and switch.
Is that what it is?
It's called bait and switch.
I need to get that on my credit card.
They wanted us to go. There was a concerted effort to get our black and white asses back to work because we didn't want to admit that we really have been in a recession, to tell you the truth. And it's common sense. When the war in Ukraine hit and they gave billions of dollars that has to come from somewhere.
Wow.
And way back when, the promises was made, and we gonna do away with student loan debt, and we gonna do this, that, and the other, and defund and support the police. It's amazing how we're right back where we started when it to the things that matter. When it comes to student loan debt, look at the gas prices. Well, let me see it. Let me think about it, and blah 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 blah. It's the old bait and switch, folks. It's old bait and switch.
Wow.
Yep.
I don't know how they do it, but they sure don't treat us the same. That right there is ridiculous. I mean, anything else y'all know that is? Real estate insider said Ukraine.
$5 billion and something plus whatever I owe on my student loans. That's what
Absolutely.
Right. Exactly.
I want to add one last thing about this, about the Fulton County situation.
Yeah, okay.
It's going unnoticed, but let me ask y'all a question. Family, is it fair game? Trump and his cronies are being charged under the RICO statute. They were allowed to bond out.
Yes.
YSL, Lucci, whatever, these rappers or whatever, Young Thug, he sits in jail. He's been in jail going on a year under the same statute. Make it fair.
But that's what Britain talks about all the time when you talk about the justice system, man. We all we want is if you're gonna indict us and arrest us, make sure we are it's on the same playing field. It works both ways.
Same county sits in jail while they build the case. Folks, that's what R. Kelly's in jail for. RICO statute. Make it fair.
Yeah. And again, to speak on that, I'm gonna tell y'all something else about this justice system. I don't know if y'all know this, and Black, you may, but the Georgia Senate passed a law right before all this started happening about these DAs that they can remove a DA for no reason at all, just because they want to. They passed a law in the state of Georgia, and so they are trying to remove this young lady from that case. Fannie Willis, they trying to remove her, y'all, and y'all know what they did. They passed a law in Georgia that says that however they feel like it, they can remove a DA if they think they are prosecuting people unfairly. I'm not making this up.
Man, the state of Georgia is about as bad as Texas and damn Florida. I was like, God dang, man, just what the hell are they doing in Georgia?
We're in the wrong business, y'all. Y'all better stop messing around. These folks can make laws and put us back behind them 40 acres and a mule. which we never got, by the way. Right. Yeah.
So anyway.
So I'm interested to see, again, they letting this thing play out, and when it's all said and done, I have no doubt in my mind. I don't know what the other side is doing, these Democrats, and they got their head so far stuck up somewhere. I don't know where they at. But it ain't playing. They ain't playing the same game, and I just don't understand. Like whenever they ready for her to stop messing around with this man, they gonna pull out that case, and ain't nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want y'all to know that's what's going on in these politics streets. So yeah. All right, sister. I'm sorry. Did you want to comment on anything, lady?
Oh no. I just. As far as the justice system, no, the justice system has never been fair for Black and brown people, and they definitely aren't going to start now. Matter of fact, they may move the goalpost a little bit more now. So,
right, right, yeah. I mean, they're going to put it out the stadium if we keep on. You say they're going to put us back in. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, and won't think two things about it, y'all. So, all right, I just want y'all to know that's what's going down in these streets in politics. So. I got a couple follow-ups. Now, Michael Orr, he been doing all that talking, so the producers of Blindside decided to go and put it out there that they gave all the money to the whole family. So, however they distributed
that's on them. Yeah, we ain't got it's to do with that. That's all. You got to talk to your mom and your pappy and your mammy on that one, brother.
That's
brother.
Right. That's right.
I said you better go on and set the record straight. I can take that whole Tui family and slide all of y'all under that bus.
Right.
Whatever y'all do with the money, I just want y'all to know we gave it all to the family.
Right.
And the family figured it out. So Michael Orr, you and your special ed teacher, that wife of yours, y'all just go on about y'all business and y'all settle that with your foster parents.
Lord.
Oh my goodness,
that's crazy. Yeah,
that's hilarious, man. So
Yeah.
you know everybody's covering their own behind, as you can tell. So I just want y'all to know. So, well, anyway, but again, I am here again, still advocating for our national holiday. With Brother Nathaniel, and ladies and gentlemen, we've had another chair sighting.
Yes,
And
we
so
did.
as we see them, I'm going to keep posting them because we gotta and listen. In a year's time, we gotta be ready to celebrate. So just want to let y'all know these folks out here still in these streets. So here go another one for y'all.
Come on.
Oh! Right.
Set us free.
God.
Ooh, that's
Yikes.
even jail behind these chairs.
That
Good.
thing gonna take a whole. That thing gonna take on a whole life of its own, y'all. And listen,
dang.
there's plenty more where that came from because they out there, and I'm catching up with them as soon as I see them. So if y'all got any more, if y'all know folks that's out here exercising their Nathaniel Alexander rights, y'all send it to us, please.
I just hope they keep doing it with these little thin plastic chairs and not them old school heavy metal ones. You be knocked out
Hey.
for real.
Yeah,
Hey.
for real.
I was at a game the other day and somebody was hollering. I looked at it, I was checking for some. Checking to see if any of them was available. So yeah, all right. So we're gonna keep showing them as we find them. So anyway, let's keep it moving though. Listen, y'all. Paris, is that where that last trick meet was in Paris?
No, it's in Budapest.
Budapest. Is that where they did the 4x1 too?
Yeah, Budapest Hungary, the World Championships. Yeah.
Yeah, they gonna ban them chairs for they made, bro. So apparently Sha'Carri, I'm saying her name right now, right, Kendrick? Okay.
Yeah,
Sha'Carri
we own it now.
Yeah, and the brothers, they all won the 4x1s over this past week. But just like good fashion with something, they won't just sit in the glory of it. Somebody always got to say something, and one fool said something, which say one fool make many. And I just want to know, boy, you should keep your feet on that track instead of putting it in your mouth. And so I just want y'all to hear what this clown said, and then let's just talk about it and see where we go.
The thing that hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals, and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong. I love the U.S. at times, but that ain't the world. That is not the world. We are the world. We have almost every country out here fighting, thriving, putting on their flag to show that they are represented. There ain't no flags in the NBA.
How far left field that food come from? I mean, where you connect? Who even brought up the NBA, fool? That's what I want to know. And what place did that even have for you to even make that comment? That's a whole. I just don't understand. I mean, the boy looked like he done missed a few assignments in class anyway. But I mean, sister, why would you take away the whole moment to talk about a whole different game just because they do their thing?
He probably jealous because some of them NBA players, them basketball players when he was in school, used to get away with stuff, and all the girls was doing their homework and all that, and so he was feeling some kind of way because that don't make no sense. But it sounded like they were doing his homework too, because what he said didn't make any. That made absolutely. I swear, I'm not joking. I don't know what that was about. I don't know where that came from. It didn't fit in that conversation. I don't get it. What was wrong with that boy? Is he, is he special needs? Like, I feel like I'm missing something. Somebody tell me.
Okay, Kenny, I just want to know. Now I know good and well them basketball players make way more money than that boy, and so I'm with sister on this one. Was it about because he was trying to get some endorsements or something? I don't understand. What's up, Craig?
What's up, Craig? Well, first of
Exactly,
all,
bro.
I kind of get what he was saying. I think we didn't hear the question. First of all, we just heard what he said.
Okay.
Someone probably asked him a question, but we didn't hear the question asked. But when you really think about it, he has a point, because when you think about the NBA, they're not world champions. They are NBA champions. They're not playing against other countries in the league. So I get what he's saying.
But don't they have the world's best players?
Yeah, but they're not playing against those world best players' countries. Those world best players are playing in the NBA. I've never referred to anyone that wins the NBA title as world champ. I always call them the NBA champ, because they're not the world champion unless you playing in a world tournament. You're technically not a world champion. You're only an NBA champion. So I kind of get what he was saying. Again, but we don't have all the context, because we don't know what the question was asked for him to go that route either. So I kind of get what he's saying. It just didn't fit the time. I would say that didn't fit him just winning the 4x100 relay, and you talking about the NBA, it just didn't fit, in my opinion.
That's exactly right. I mean, and I hear you, real estate. I mean, you boys are really splitting hairs for me right now. It's just words, but I mean, Black, to the whole point. I mean, when we did, like Craig said, when we did put them in the Olympics, I mean, did we not show that they're the best players in the world? I mean, let's not talk about 92. I ain't gonna talk about 2000s and stuff like that. But anyway, I mean, what you think about all this, Black?
So I respectfully disagree with the Real Estate Insider and Brother Kenny. I do consider them world champions. And I think Stephen A. Smith, while I don't agree with a lot of things he said, I love what he said, and he summed it up very beautifully, where he talked about the fact that the NBA is a global game, and 1/3 of the NBA players are international players right now. 6 different continents, 40, different countries. If that's not global, I guess I don't know what it is. But again, if we're gonna, look at semantics of the national football game, but as you said, Brother Kenny, the world's best players, they aspire to come play against the best in the entire world. That's why they show up in the NBA. So I guess if we want to split hairs technically, but I didn't need context for me personally. I watched the race, and Sister Devin, those boys didn't do his homework. Them boys didn't want him.
I got my button. Don't you stop.
That piece of shit around his neck, and as one of the NBA players said, it sounded good when he said it, but what was happening is them boys didn't want him.
Okay, well, but Kenny, are we not going global as a basketball association?
I get that. I agree. I don't disagree with what Brother Black said, but if you technically look at it, the NBA is played in the United States. It's not played across the world. So I kind of get what he was saying. Anyone that wins the league title, they are NBA champions, technically. They're not world champions, because you're not playing against Turkey, and you're not playing against Russia, you're not playing against China. You only play against them in the Olympics. So I kind of get what he was saying on that tip.
I feel like now I feel like there was some context missing. It's like recently when someone said like how much they enjoy Beyonce and how great she's doing on her tour, and somebody's response was, "But Taylor Swift sold more tickets," and I was like, "What the hell? Like, what does one thing have
to do with the other?"
Right. Reminded me of like what does that have to do with anything?
That's it. I mean, boy, enjoy your 4 years and move on, because I know it. They're doing it every year, but I get it.
What's worse, though, is the damage he's done with that comment. The NBA players, a global entity, global game, you've now lost their support.
I don't think so.
They're overlooking.
Different players are already speaking out against, in my opinion.
But I don't think.
But they have to be careful.
It's not going to be a big effect. I hear what
you're
saying.
I don't think it's going to make anything of it. But you damn sure won't. When the ESPY awards come, I can't wait.
Well, they don't even get in those awards, do they?
I can't wait. So you're right. I don't think it'll blow up into an international thing, but you're damn sure ain't getting invited to no parties, and you're not getting in no doors now because of what you said.
Yeah,
I disagree. I think he will.
I can't wait.
Nobody knows
because he is Olympic champion. He's a 100-meter champion. He's a 200-meter champion and a relay champion.
But again, he'll be forgotten in 8 years.
Remains to be seen.
No, he won't, because they got the Olympics coming up in 2 years. So he'll be back in the spotlight in 2 years.
But he better win.
I've forgotten him already.
Well, because you don't follow track. You probably don't.
Actually, I do. Actually, I do.
Oh, okay. All right.
Actually, I really do. I
Yeah.
tune in for very few things. I love watching track and field.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big fan of track and field. He's insignificant to me. And again, that's the beauty of selection, is that for me, I can turn
Noah
him on.
Lyles is his name. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Noah
Yeah.
Lyles.
No,
I'll never even take up space in my brain with his name.
Yeah, yeah. So again, if it ain't Michael Johnson or if it ain't Usain Bolt, young man, you know what I'm saying? I guess you'll be more infamous than famous. Maybe we'll see, but all right, that's just what we do. As niggas, we just do that. All right, listen, y'all. We got so much to go. I just had to put my boy up early, and because I just want to get this thing going real good, brother Kenny. It's a lot in these sports streets though, but football starts in a week.
Yep,
Mhm.
and I'm not playing for a world championship either. I'm not a world champ either. Let's get that out. Let's get that out the way right off the top.
Understood.
But I want to say this: we did have a new show premiere today, Undisputed. Did anybody catch it?
No, I saw the music or the
Okay.
Lil Wayne did for it. But
Yeah, the new open Lil
Intro.
Wayne. It's hot. It's hot. It's dope.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
fire. So I watched a little bit of it. If y'all don't know who's the new host with Skip Bayless now, it's Keyshawn Johnson, Michael Irvin, and Richard Sherman. And just my first thoughts on it, I watched clips of it.
Okay.
It was a bunch of screaming and people talking over each other and stumbling
yeah.
over each other. But that's expected. It's the first show.
That's
They
right.
got to get the kinks out. So a lot of people in the comments think that it's trash. I'm like, you just got to give it a shot. So anyway, so new Undisputed, check it out when you get a chance. You can go on YouTube, check out some of the clips. But let's talk about this brother down at Valdosta State that was kicked off his baseball team because of. I want to see if y'all can guess. Why was he kicked off his baseball team? Because of what you think? I'm gonna start with you, Ms. Devin. Why was he kicked off the baseball team?
Oh Lord, you gonna make me think of something? Weed.
Okay, Brent, why was the brother kicked off the baseball team by his white coach? By the way,
He was probably swinging the wrong bat and balls. I don't know.
You know what? I know the answer now. I think.
We'll come back, Brother Black. This is in Georgia too. Why did this white baseball coach kick off this black baseball player off the team?
Again, I'm unfamiliar with the story, but I wonder if it was something social media related.
Nope. Well, okay, back to you, Ms. Devin. What you say?
Was it related to the length of his hair?
That is correct.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
A Valdosta State baseball player, Asher Ackridge, was forced to cut his hair. His head baseball coach by the name of Greg Gilliams basically said he kicked him off the team because his dreads was too long, even though he had cut them. And they had a meeting and they recorded the conversation. Basically, the head coach told him, "It's my rules, and I know I may not have given you the right directions, but it's my rules, and now you getting kicked off." And then the young brother said, "Well, there's my other teammates on the team. Their hair is a certain length, which is his white teammates. Why are they still allowed to be on the team?" He said, "Well, it's my team, it's my rules, and you out of there." Here we go again. White folks messing with black people's hair. Ms. Devin, what's your thoughts on this story?
You know, I was kind of at a crossroads about it, and I'm gonna tell you why. I have found, because my kid was in sports the whole time he was in school, and he was pretty good. I found that as long as you're good, they don't care because they want to win. They have this agenda where they tend to let certain things go when they want to win. But what I've also noticed with a lot of the young people is they're very contrary. And I'm wondering if some of that, either he wasn't that great, his attitude was bad, or he wanted to argue with them all the time about stuff. So, because I feel like we only get like a very small snapshot of like the biggest picture. So that's the type of thing that I think of, because I have found so many coaches in the past, in whether it's high school, college, whatever, that don't care about a lot of things when you're that good. They didn't care about losing it. It's how I felt.
And you brought up a good point, because I did not think about it from that perspective. And they really didn't say how great a player this young man was. He actually transferred in from Jackson State, and he was only like a sophomore. So we'll see. Brother Black, This happens in your state that you reside in Georgia. What's your thoughts on this whole cut your dreadlocks? It's my way or the highway. What's your thoughts on it?
That's what stood out to me. Again, I'm not familiar with the story, but I consider the context. We just said a minute ago about the story that you probably need more context with the Olympic guy. This wouldn't make sense to me because of where it's happening. We even highlighted at the beginning, if this is Florida, if this is Georgia, this is especially considering what they just did to Agent Orange. This is the way they're going to fight back. Even at the show, we talked about the chair incident. Be careful, because as these other incidents escalate, white people are going to have their way to gloat as well. And this is one of those ways to me that if this was in New York, if this was in somewhere else, it'd be a bigger thing. And then, Devin, you make a beautiful point. Sports have traditionally, to me, been about talent that usurps everything else. If this guy was A1 or top of the level, it wouldn't matter. I only hope for his sakes that he is somewhat good enough that he can go somewhere else. And I even hate that he acquiesced in the very beginning to cut his hair in the first place. I wish he would have taken a stand from the very beginning, coach or no coach, so that's my thing.
Yeah. And Brother Brent, I was reading this story and they made reference to the Crown Act. I think even Miss Devin, you talked about this some months back in a show. It was a bill that was passed in California back in June of 2019, and it's basically called Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair. Do you your thoughts, Brent? Is this now has athletics and coaching has it really just the whole game just changed in your opinion?
Well, it just depends. I guess for me, and they passed a law like that in Texas too. Here recently, I believe it was this year.
Right.
I mean, for me, I think if you don't, as long as he didn't make him do it, it's a choice. I mean, we're playing their game in their world. So there's certain things. I mean, you want to look a certain way. I remember back in the 90s, the Yankees, they couldn't wear any facial hair.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? And again, you want Steinbrenner's money. You better shave that mustache. You know what I'm saying? They were clean cut. Their hair couldn't be a certain length, and that's what it is. And so I just don't rush to the race card. And I'm not saying we're doing that even in the conversation. I'm just saying, bro, if you don't want to play there, go play somewhere else, man. Stay at the HBCU. You know what I'm saying? That's what you just do for me. I mean, I'll leave it there because it's just a choice you make. Because I don't like to see all that anyway. So rules are rules in athletics. I know I played high school basketball, and I know there were certain things if I wanted to play, coach said you got to do this, you got to do this. So at the end of the day, if you want to play, you got to play by the rules. The real estate inside says, then you got black coaches punching players in the belly. Speaking of which, y'all go to TFG Sports Media, Kendrick Sports Hustle, and Lamb Levity. Check out the story I did in Georgia again, Brother Black. We got a coach punching a athlete in the stomach on the sideline and caught live on the television broadcast this past Saturday. Y'all go check out that story on TFG Sports Media, Kendrick Sports Hustle, and Lamb Levity. And so we're going to get on out of this sports segment. Back to you, Brent. Hey, man, good stuff, man. But again, even when we were playing sports, coaches wanted us on game day to dress up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Put on a shirt and a tie. Right. I mean, basketball. So come on, y'all stop tripping. I'm saying us. I'm just saying just people. We just want to always take it there. Now, I ain't saying sometimes it ain't that way.
Right.
But not in all cases, but yeah, it's all good. Hey, Miss Toria, sorry to hear about your husband. Hope he's feeling better. You said he got a CAT scan. I'm assuming that's what it is.
Okay. Hey, Miss Toria, how you doing? Hope he's
feeling better. Get the results.
Yeah,
let us know how he's doing, please.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So, all right, let's keep it going with Shaqtin' a Fool. So apparently Shaq says that his kids can't touch his money. Let me quote him. You not touching my 400 million my daddy's 400 million cheese if you ain't got 3 degrees. And at first I was thought like, Shaq kind of tripping. But his kids, one of his daughters, she's a marketing director for Pepsi. I think a couple of his kids is still in school playing sports. But here's an interesting thing that kind of caught my attention. So Shaq has been influenced through this situation. He said he was in playing ball at Miami Heat, and one day an article came out that a grandmother left her grandson $250 million. He said, I didn't think anything of it since it's a rich family. He said, so I go into the locker room one day to shoot, and this kid's on his knees scrubbing the bathroom floor. And I look at him like, hey, man, didn't your grandmother just give you $250 million? He said, yeah, but dad wants me to work up from the bottom. So he had to do that. He was picking up chucks and he was starting a marketing firm. Once I saw that, I said, that's a respectable nepotism. Black, is that something? I mean, I know it's a perspective, but respectable nepotism.
I love it.
Okay,
I love it. Shaq
That's so
has
stupid.
become one of my favorite people. His philanthropy, his ideals on
Hey, baby.
giving back and helping and money. And I love that he set the bar that high for his children. And
Right.
for me, I love it. So for those that disagree, that's for me. I don't think we set the bar high enough. I think that's a big part of the problem. I think we've created a generation of entitlement. And so this is not a new concept. If you go back to watching the 80s, the Bill Cosby show, the Huxtables, he set those same standards. There was one famous episode where he told the kids, me and your mother is rich. You don't have nothing. And there was a high level of expectation. Now, having said that, college is not for everybody. And so even some of Shaq's children, if you can get out there and on your daddy's, he didn't say he wouldn't help them. His name gets them through doors. And if you're able to make your own living, because maybe you don't want daddy's money, that's fine. But my thing is, I love that he set the bar high enough that if you want my money, this is the level and standard you have to meet, because from where he's sitting, he's trying to set a standard that you are not just going to rely simply on athleticism, that you have to have something to fall back on. What was the point of making all this money if you're not going to position your children for generational wealth and to achieve more? And I hate that we as African Americans, we don't raise the level enough. So I'm in full agreement with it. We let these kids live in a home way past grown stages, making it easy for them, setting this cushy lifestyle for them, not teaching them the basic foundation of hard work and acquiring something on your own. I have a knucklehead right now. He got 3 kids, 2 babies and 1 on the way. He got 2 twins and 1 on the way.
Wow.
Now, I'll do my best to love those kids because they didn't ask to be here. But I'll be damned if I'm going to compromise my lifestyle because of the decisions that you've made. Oh, brother, you got work to do now. Now, if you're climbing that ladder and you want to I'm right here to help. But you had fun making the babies. I didn't get none of that snatch. Nary head nor tail. I wasn't in the room.
Right.
God bless you.
Kenny, so I'll put it like this. Maybe I'm not fond of the respectable nepotism, but I am fond of making them work for it. And this is what I'll say, and I'll get this to you. It may be working because at least we don't hear ignorant things about Shaq's kids. So, I mean, how do you see that?
I totally agree with both statements that the Real Estate Insider just posted, but his
Okay.
first one and his second one.
Okay.
I think, again, that's Shaq's money. 3 degrees, I think is a little bit. I mean, okay, I get it. You want to set a standard for your children. I definitely agree with that. I think 3 degrees is a little bit crazy. I think I know a whole bunch of people with 3 degrees and can't do nothing with none of those damn degrees. So I would rather you, if you want them to get a college degree, great. I'm all for that. And if you want them to do some things and make it on their own, I get that. But I think we're behind when it comes to generational wealth, leaving an inheritance for our people. We like to set up all these roadblocks for our families just because. And that's great. That's your money. But, that's why we behind, I think, in wealth when it comes to white folks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. Again, I think he may be a little exaggerating about 3 degrees.
Because hell, he ain't even got 3 degrees. Which I mean, that's fine too. You know, I know a lot of successful people that ain't got no degrees. So a college degree doesn't necessarily mean success either.
Yeah,
I agree with that fully, but at the same time, we've devalued education as a whole, and I personally think that's a big problem. So you're right. Maybe not 3 degrees, but what does it say that we celebrate somebody getting out of jail more than we would them getting a degree?
Right. No, I agree. But if he was my daddy, I would do them. I get 3 of them.
I mean,
and I'm not saying 3 degrees. That might be excessive. That might be excessive.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that part. But at the same time, if that's his standard,
go get it.
That's
Get your 3 associate's degrees. I don't care.
Right. Hey, I would make it happen. It'd be in PE. Want to be in PE. Want to be in cooking and something else. You know, you feel me? So,
sister, you remember Brewster's Millions?
I don't.
Okay. All right. Well, then I guess I'll just let you just answer the question. I mean, I kind of halfway know where you're gonna be with this anyway, but I mean, no, maybe not. Okay, we're gonna get to it. What you got?
I have a very similar parenting style as Black, so I think that's where you thought I was going, and I somewhat am going there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
All right.
But I do believe in generational wealth. But I think people forget that one of the primary aspects of generational wealth is continuing the wealth. Just because you have it doesn't mean you're supposed to give it to your children. Somehow you have to teach your children you have to teach them how to continue that wealth. If you have $10 million and you give 5 of it to your no good ass, lazy ass, sorry ass kids, and they blow the whole 5 million, then the generational wealth ends with them because they out there buying Lambos, gold chains, J's, and whatever, or they buying ice cream trucks and Starbucks and putting it in their house like dumbass Tyrese. So I'm saying in order for your kids to understand generational wealth, you have to teach them how to continue that generational wealth. If I give you $5 million, I'm gonna need you to have drug dealer behavior. You need to learn how to flip that to 10. That way, when you have your kids, then you get them 5. But you don't have generational wealth by just giving it to your kids. If I gave my kids $5 million now, guess how much they gonna have when their grandchildren are born? Negative $5 million, because somehow they're gonna create debt because they don't understand how to work hard for it. So I don't think they need a degree at all, but somehow they need to learn how to continue that wealth. If you think about some of the wealthiest people around here, that's because they have learned how to continue making money off that wealth, and they weren't just handed something like it was a lotto ticket and blow through it.
You're on point. I agree with you and Black. I see both sides, though. I see it. I get what you're saying. So
here's the balance. We make fun of Boosie because he's giving him everything. Right. But then we kind of scolding Shaq because he want to make him work for everything. Yeah. All I'm saying is that, nobody appreciates anything that they were given.
Yes, sir.
I'm the same way. Like, if I don't work for it, I don't appreciate it. Right. That's why when I bought my kids their shoes, they didn't care what they did with them. But when they bought them, don't step on my shoes. That's right. Because now you understand the value of it. That's right. So I guess you just got to find the balance in that moment. You're right. I'd rather lean more closer to Shaq than I do Boosie. That's just where I am.
I think all of us on this panel would rather lean more to Shaq than Boosie.
Right. I agree.
Okay. Demi say she disagreed, and I don't know what part you disagree with, but I understand. We'll accept it. We don't say it a lot, so I don't know. Yeah. So for those that hadn't seen Brewster's Millions, that was a movie that Richard Pryor inherited some money, but he couldn't get the money until he spent like $10 million in like 30 days. Right. And they gave him a stipulation. It was a good movie though. Yeah. Really interesting. But that brings me to that thought process. So anyway, he really ain't Shaq in the food, but I just thought it was really interesting. He kind of exaggerated a little bit, if you ask me.
Probably.
Yeah. So, all right, y'all. I tried my best this week to come up with some good stuff. So I hope y'all like what I came up with. Maybe not. So I listen. Don't shoot the messenger. This is what's happening out here in the world. So all right. Now some of y'all probably seen this first thing, but I still wanted to hear from the family about this one. Shout out to my boy Kenny for this. Check this out.
I missed what happened.
I missed
Okay.
everything.
It was a lot. So look at the heavy set girl on the phone, almost
Okay.
to the top corner, and then look at the little skinny, dark skinny girl walking up in her face.
Okay, I missed that.
I'm sorry. Black still didn't see it.
You didn't see
You
it,
saw it?
Black? Did you see it, Black? You just still didn't see it?
Tell me what happened.
Yeah. man.
So the little girl, some chick on the phone, little girl in her face, bapping her gums.
Okay.
Old girl had enough. She kind of gave her a little choke slam to the.
Okay.
the
I'm gonna have to go
bleachers.
back and
Yeah.
It was another video of that same incident. It was a better
Okay.
angle where you could see it. But that,
Well, I'm gonna do that on my follow up next week.
okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So a little more extra to that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, but Devin, can I have one word on that one?
Whee!
Yeah, I thought, girl, you about as annoying as a nasty gnat. So yeah,
That's what I thought too. I was like,
I'm sorry,
damn it.
Grandma. Yeah, I know. I should have zoomed in, y'all. I appreciate
Yeah.
that. So she said, I appreciate everything given to me as well as what I work for. Amen.
Come
You're
from,
one
a,
of a
come
kind.
from a different generation, though, Demi.
She does.
Yeah. Right.
very true.
Right. Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
All right. So for the sake of me, not trying to force the issue with that one, Black, I'm sure you'll be able to see this next one. Let's get a one word answer on this one. Here we go.
I've seen that one before too.
I know we've seen them. I just want to know what y'all think about them.
Hilarious.
I'm telling you.
That's just comical. Yeah.
Hilarious.
I mean, does somebody get cited for abusing the disabled? No, I just don't.
Shame.
Yeah. Okay. All right, y'all. All right. I apologize, but we'll do some follow-ups on a couple of those things on next week, or maybe I think next week is Labor Day, so maybe in 2 weeks. Okay, maybe so. All right, y'all. That's what I got so far, but I'm excited to move on because Sister she really gonna get somebody's business today. So, Madam, please, who business you getting in today?
You know, I try to stay in my own the best I can.
You do. You really
But
do.
I couldn't help but notice when old Tyrese, aka Crowreese, was back on the line whining. He done made a song called Love Transaction talking about the $20,000 he gives isn't child support. We both know who the money is for, talking about his baby moms that he has to pay $20,000 a month in child support. But it's not just Tyrese I was thinking about when I saw that. I thought about old Hallie. She got to pay $8,000 a month now for child support for her kid. And then we just several celebrities. Kelly Clarkson got taken to, that dude took her out. She had to give him a whole house, and I mean, it was just a hot mess. So what I want to know from y'all when it comes to child support, because men, let's be honest, are the ones who would primarily have to pay, right?
Right.
The argument is the child should be allowed to live the same lifestyle, whether they're at mommy's house or daddy's house. So, do you think that the child can be in a Bentley every other weekend, but be back in the Honda Civic on hub with a hubcap missing the other days of the week, or should the child have a continuous lifestyle no matter where they are? I'm sorry, you Ken.
You know, this is my thing. I think the child support laws and the way it's set up is definitely set up in favor of women. from the jump. I think $20,000 a month for child support to pay for one child, I don't care if you're an athlete or an entertainer or not, is ludicrous. Now, to talk about your point about sustain the lifestyle that child from what they're used to. I mean, a child is a child. At the end of the day, all that child needs is some clothing, some food, and a place to put their head. As long as it's respectable, the primary custody parent, as long as they provide that, that's all that's supposed to matter. You don't need to be paying $25,000 a month for no child support. I just believe that's where the child support laws are just jacked up. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
All right, Brent, I'm gonna ask you a specific question. You got a baby by Halle Berry. She decided she didn't want to fool with you no more. Do you think it would make sense for Halle Berry's child, because she don't want the kid either, because she was like, I don't want nothing that even look like you around me. Do you think it would make sense for Halle Berry's child to be in public school wearing kids around regular smuggler folks, getting out of regular cars, knowing who her mother is? Or does it make sense for Halle to contribute at least $8,000 a month so that her child can live the lifestyle of Halle Berry's kid?
So this is what I say to that, because what we're not factoring in is that if the $8,000 is given, would the child still look like that anyway? Because that's the reality anyway, right? With most parents, I say most parents, but we've seen enough instances where parents do get money and kids still look like they are second-class citizens, right? So I don't know if that's really the problem, but if all things are created equal, of course you want your children to represent you as properly as they can. So yes, but in reality, I don't believe I believe that in those type of situations, when you guys are already acting like that, y'all not thinking about the kids no way. So I don't really think the kids benefit anyway when y'all doing that. So the money don't really help either, because if they do get the money, some of them resent the money because they want the parent. So, I don't know. It's very complicated and it shouldn't go that way anyway. But yeah, I mean, yes, you want your kids to look as well as you present yourself, but I don't think that's the reality, in my opinion.
All right, Black. Do you think that child should be allowed to sustain that same lifestyle, especially if they had been living with their parent in a two-parent household for the longest a certain way, and then it didn't work out and they had to move out? And we all know a lot of women give up careers and things like that to be a stay-at-home mother. Do you think it's fair for her to have to leave and work at Whataburger and get it out of the mud all of a sudden?
I do not. I think it's fair that the child should maintain that quality of life. I truly do. Now, I agree with what Kenny said. The inception of the child support laws, in its creation, it was meant to benefit women. It's been misused. Having said that, fair is a place where pigs are judged. And so, to be honest with you, it's what the market bears. We talk about Orange Face all the time. He got what he paid for his bond. Does that really matter to him? That's a chip in the bucket. The reality is, based on the income of that famous person, Tom Cruise, he pays $400,000 a month. $400,000 a month for his daughter Suri until she turned 18 years old. Now his net worth is $500 or $600 million. The kid didn't ask to be here. Now I agree with everything everybody said. Money is sad, but this is the measurement based on the income of that earning parent. And now for me, I'm glad that the worm is turning some. I'm glad to see Halle Berry's ass get it as well, because for too long it's only been men. And the truth of the matter is that child next to be here, they deserve a quality of life based on, because I don't think it's fair that now that she done with Mr. Chef or whatever, that she get to travel to the French Riviera, got a new love, this, that, and the other, and that child has to live a lifestyle that they weren't accustomed to when they was with her. So when that child goes with the father, It's not fair, but fair is where they judge pigs. And so when you married, now this is where to me you should be smarter. You should get the person to sign a prenup or something. You should put it into the marriage arrangement that you stay married to me. I'll give you X amount for X amount of years. It's about what you can negotiate. You know, you got hoes laying up around here. Hoes are winning because they're getting calls. You know, P. Diddy is giving this nasty no good bitch, you know, a Maybach because she said she got good snatch. Meanwhile, you got beautiful women around here who ain't getting half that, but she's able to negotiate that. I can't be mad with her. So I think the kids in this instance, they deserve that quality of life.
All right. Well, I personally believe it's case by case. You know what I'm saying? When you got a bunch of women, you know, them old lowbrow hoes that's just trying to create check babies, them babies ain't never lived no lifestyle. Them babies, the mama still live in the projects. She just went up and got it in to get pregnant by a Future. Future didn't even like you. You know what I'm saying? So that baby they ain't gonna know no other lifestyle in the projects because he ain't ever gonna be around no way. But they just got the glory of being able to tell people my daddy Future. But if I was married to Future for 10 years and we raised a kid and I was a stay-at-home mom and I moved out, and you know your punk ass ain't gonna take care of this kid, it ain't gonna come around. I don't care what you tell the judge, because you're gonna be off making 7 more kids. That kids shouldn't have to suffer as a result of that. I personally think somebody like a Future should do the right thing and move out the house and allow that mother and that child to stay in the house. And then maybe she can get a job to help take care of it, or you continue to pay it or whatever you got to do, because I think you have to put that child first. And if you weren't going to do that, then you shouldn't have had a kid. But for us regular smuggler broke folks, yes, I think it's unfair. You know what I'm saying? For you to be getting $1,700 a month just because your person doing good when your broke ass don't need that and you just want to be able to get your nails and stuff done. But for people of a certain lifestyle, I feel like you have to take the kid in consideration and get out of your feelings and don't be selfish. I just think that's the way it is. But you know what? I'm gonna go back to minding my own business now and stand out old punk ass Clarice's.
Sister D, one question. When you lie down with dogs, don't you come up with fleas?
I know, but I'm also need you women to quit listening to our y'all telling y'all to date bus drivers when y'all got a whole lot of money, because the bus driver gonna leave you and you're gonna have to pay him $8,000 a month. I'm just saying.
Not 8,000 a month.
That's where you so you gotta be smart.
Boy, you know this conversation, man, it could go so many places.
Yes,
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Listen, if I didn't have 4 more topics, and I got a real heavy one coming in this Black Love series, so I'm just kind of like, we'll keep it moving. All right, good stuff, y'all. So, listen, they really hate us. I just want y'all to know, man. There was a shooting in North Carolina.
Jacksonville,
Florida. Right.
And North Carolina too. There's one there.
Man, listen, this dude in Jacksonville was actually going to a HBCU, right? And at the HBCU, what? Why are you standing up? Oh, I'm like, what's going on? Okay, okay. All right, thank you. I'm like, what is really going on? All right, so yes, the dude was headed to HBCU to shoot up people. Matter of fact, he actually went there, and some of the homeboys saw him and what he was dressed in, and they called the campus security man, and he took off. And then he actually went to another Family Dollar or something and bought stuff. And what's so crazy is this fool worked at like one of these type of stores. We laugh and joke about the whole, chair thing and stuff like that. But these folks is killing people just because of the color of their skin. And so you had all this hype to try to go to the school, but then you settle to go and you pull up at a Dollar General, and then you shoot a woman sitting in her car. 11 times you put bullets in that car. And then you go in the store, and then you shoot the black folks in the store. And then you wait for somebody else to come in the store, and then you shoot them. And then you got the nerve to shoot yourself. I mean, the lowest of trash is there. And then again, we don't race bait, and I mean it. and those that have been going, riding with us for months, what I'm saying, over the year, y'all know how we are. But I'm telling y'all, if y'all continue to excuse these folks, man, y'all stop talking to me. Don't talk to me. Like I'm telling you, because I don't have the space to be nice and cordial to you. Like, so if you don't have anything to say, if you're going to give me a talking point, I just suggest you just don't say it to me. Right? Because I will conjure up my Nathaniel Alexander. I just want you to know that. So, I mean, y'all, I mean, listen, we tired. That's why Alabama happened. We're tired. And we don't, again, y'all want us to give passes to these people. I ain't giving y'all no passes. And it doesn't even matter. So I'm just saying, if you don't want to speak up, then just shut up. And when you shut up, just get out of my face. I just did. I don't want to hear that, man. So I don't know, Kenny. What'd you say on this, bro?
Just real quick, I watched the governor of that state give his statement, and I despise everything about the governor of Florida. Just to let y'all know perfectly clear, he is part of the white nationalist movement. He has spurred a lot of this with his anti-wokeness, and he don't even know what woke mean. His rhetoric, everything he's done in that state to pull out the facts, the truth about history, especially black folks. So anything that comes out of his mouth and any other politician's mouths, I don't want to hear no more sending in your condolences. Prayers are with you. As black folks, we don't want to hear that rhetoric no more. It's time to do something about these guns and these white nationalists, these racist white men that go killing people of color that look like me. So that's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, and I'm just being honest, man. Please, I just ask, like, if you got a problem with me, don't get aggressive with me, because I'm telling you where my perception goes. I don't get there. I'm gonna get there for you, dude. Just understand that. I'm just telling you, I don't have time to try to figure out if you is and you ain't. I'm just telling you, like, y'all didn't see that big girl pushing that look. I'm just telling y'all that's just where my mind is right now. So listen, let's just be two ships passing in the sea. Like, I've come to realize, man, y'all don't speak, I don't speak, and that's just cool. Don't mean we got a problem. We cool. All right, sister, go.
I mean, of course, that was god awful, and I actually didn't watch a clip on it. I won't. I just don't have a desire to see that. But here is my concern. I feel like it's election season, and we're going to see a lot more of this, unfortunately, because that's what happens. And always during election season, around election season, everything like this just gets very heightened. If y'all go back and think about it, it's encouraged.
See that?
It's put out in the media to encourage people to be stupid and dumb, to do things like this, and to try to form a line in the sand. You know what I'm saying? So it's sad. I don't know the answer. I wish I did. But I feel like if someone knew the answer, we would have solved it years ago when it became as bad as it is, because unfortunately it's not new. I wish there was an answer. I don't think the answer is for vigilante justice. I don't know if that's the answer. The NRA will never care enough to do anything with guns. So I literally don't know, but my fear is because of where we are in election season, we're going to start seeing a lot more stupid things and deplorable things and horrible things like this happen to Black people, and I think just people of color in general, because that's kind of who's targeted.
That was very intellectual of you. That makes sense, but it's because they are coming from a whole different area. What they're looking at and all that. So you're making good sense. I get that, but it's still that. Go kill your. Okay, my wife said pull it back. Go on, Black.
So for me, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And so I love where Sister Devin went. So for me, I'm not surprised. That doesn't even register as a blip. It's sad, but what has changed? We have a new administration, and we right back in this same cycle. We might as well be in 2016 all over again. We're literally history is repeating itself. And so when you've been given the courage because you're being protected, attitude reflects leadership from the top down. And so you said, Sister Devin, what's the answer? We have the answer. It's not brain surgery to me, but we're not willing to do the work. Now, there are so many factors that get in the way. The NRA is one of the most powerful lobbies out there. It's money. And the reality is, and I've been saying this for a long time, when a person who sits in that office, who's in positions to make decisions, and I'm not just talking about the President of the United States, I'm talking about the Supreme Court as well. But when you have a generation that's sitting there and they can remember a time when they can look at every one of these faces on here and we don't count, until that generation is stomped out, what real change can we expect? Let's keep it a buck. The man that's the President of the United States, he's still living in a time when bread was 25 cents. You wonder why gas prices are what they are, where we are? And you think there was going to be some really change in attitude and leadership just because we place one for the other? At the end of the day, a copperhead snake and a rattlesnake, both snakes, and they all sit in the same barrel. And so the reality is that until laws are changed, until we weed out that systematic level of racism, there will be no change. Now, to your point, Brenton, I feel like you do. I live in fear. This is a true story. I live in honest fear when I leave this apartment. This is my sanctuary. I literally try to surround myself with everything I need because I fear going viral because I'm not the one. I'm not the one that you're going to block me in some grocery store. You this, that, and the other. I don't care if you're old, young. I can't take that chance. Like you said, Brenton, that you might be good. I have to take a plane coming up and I see some of the things happening. I'm going to go viral because I'm going to do what I got to do to protect me. And I don't give a damn if it's a woman, a man, somebody old or a child, the little boy kicking his. It doesn't matter. I don't want to go viral. I try to stay to myself and stay self-contained, but I know I'm getting off the subject here. But to this hate crime stuff, folks, this is not going anywhere. This is a repetitive cycle that's going to be here because all we've replaced the white sheets with is the people who sit in office.
And again, I want to appreciate every person that does not look like the four of us that say things. I won't be presumptuous or assume, but if you do it, thank you. Yeah. If they ain't telling you, I'm telling you now. We appreciate it. Thank you. And so I know you can't save the world. I'm not asking you to save me. I'm just saying when you hear them saying it, you say something to them. That's it. Yeah. I'll take care of myself. Please believe I'll take care of me. Just make sure I know you on my side. So anyway. All right. So speaking of that, it's not ironic that this is the 60-year anniversary of the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech. And Martin, if you're listening, I just want to tell you, we are no closer then than we are now.
We ain't made it to the mountaintop, Martin.
That's right, Doc. And listen, your dreams has become one's nightmare. But this is what I want to say to you all today. I have a question. I just want to ask this. So what are you still passionate about and still fighting for as it relates to justice? As we commemorate 60 years, listen, yeah, Martin, black and whites are going to school, but yeah, it ain't nothing what you thought it was gonna be.
Right. So,
but I just want to know what are we passionate about? What are we fighting for individually? I'll give mine so you guys have a couple seconds to think. I'm currently fighting in the church arena. I grew up in church. My family's background is deeply rooted in a specific denomination in church. And there's a lot of injustice in the church and the black church. And I'll be honest, I don't appreciate white preachers coming into black churches trying to tell black preachers how good they are when they just as filthy as them white ones y'all came out of. And so that's my injustice that I fight, because that's what I'm most familiar with. So I fight against hypocrisy. I fight against bad theology. I fight against preachers that manipulate and try to take advantage of people in the church. I do that. And if I know you and I know you ain't doing right, you know I'm on you. You know I'm talking to you. I'm trying to be respectful and nice and do it the way the scripture says. But you know, if I hear you say something, you know I'm gonna say something to you. So that's where I am. That's what I do today to combat injustice in the church. So what are you guys doing? And if it's none of my business, you can say that. I know, you know. Yeah, come on. All right.
My fight is to fight for judging people by the content of their character. Because the world I live in and exist in every day is one of diversity, even though I work virtually. But I have to sit on camera throughout the course of my day and be in a room with people who, to be honest with you, we don't believe the same things. Their lifestyles are different than mine. So that diversity, equity, and inclusion is very real for me, you know? And so for me, I am proud that I'm able to be in a room, virtual or literal, and judge people individually. So when I come on with my rants throughout the week and I do another day in the life, I call myself a Black Archie Bunker only in the sense that I'm an equal opportunity offender. If you're a dumbass, I don't care about the other part. If you're a dumbass and you're a lesbian or gay or midget, and all of these things aren't politically correct for me to say it, you know, but that's my way of actually saying that I just see the dumbass. The other stuff behind the scenes, that I'm not judging you based on that. And I'm proud to say that every day I'm able to navigate through a corporate world where some of the people I talk to, they are lesbians. We asked the question last week or the week before. We talked about, you know, how we treat the LGBT community. I'm proud that I have very good friends, you know, that come from that community. I have white friends. I grew up, you know, in the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. So I try to judge people on the content of their character. And so when I speak in this forum about the things that I see, it's the ones that deserve to hear that. But I don't by any means believe that all white people are bad or wicked or hateful or this and that. I don't for one moment believe that all gay people are disingenuous or derelict or this or that or the other. I have a simple rule I follow. Don't hurt elderly, women, kids. You know what I'm saying? If you don't bother anybody, you have the right to live your life. And I fight for everybody to have that equal space, because the last part I'll interject is, from a scriptural point of view, I always quote this scripture. We should all be working out our salvation with trembling and fear. So I ain't God. Do your thing, bro.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Tori, thank you as well. I know we all have our burdens to bear, and I appreciate you standing beside your husband as you all fight through that together. Yeah. Sister, brother?
You know, I never realized that I am constantly speaking up for just like women's independence and for women to have a voice and for women to know their worth, specifically Black women. I'm constantly advocating for people to stop settling for, tolerating, accepting certain treatment and behavior. And that you will be all right if you don't, whether it's from work, whether it's from your own damn family, your own kids, whether it's from relationships, like whatever. I just feel like women need to kind of learn their worth and learn to stand up for themselves, and to teach people basically how to treat them.
Very good. Brother, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna give us all a hand clap. I knew I could ask y'all on the spot because I knew y'all are doing something. But so, you know, so I'm gonna applaud all of us in just a moment. Go ahead, Kenny.
Black economic power. That is something that is near and dear to me. Black supporting Black-owned businesses, Blacks pooling resources, networking with one another, building our own networks where we can come together and gather our resources and create our own, where we ain't got to ask massa for to give us a seat at the table. We can create our own seats. And with that, there's some, believe me, we all know, we all Black on this panel. We all know that comes with some obstacles when it comes to dealing with our people. But I'm not giving up on us, because I love us too much.
Yes, sir.
And I believe in us. And I believe we can get this thing together if we just pool our resources. And so that's definitely one of my passions, and that's going to be my passion too. So it's time for me to go on to the afterlife, wherever that may be.
Right. I am very appreciative of you three, because I know what we don't get to do this. But the fact that we do this, we're setting a standard, we're paving a way where others may not say, hey, we need to put y'all on contract, a lot of this, that, and the third. But we are a part of a Black entity that is trying to do something different. And I applaud all of us. And so that's why I fool with y'all, because I don't mess around with no suckers. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to be with winners. You know what I'm saying? So I just want y'all to know this means something to somebody, because my young ones are proud of us because they talk about us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Other people talk about us. So if y'all don't know that, and for those that support us every week, y'all come on, y'all fuss at us because we're late sometimes. It's okay. We just family, but we're going to do this thing. And so I'm just proud of all of us that we're going to continue 60 years later. It don't got to be no dream. We making dreams reality. And so that's what we're doing. So Martin he don't have to be the only one to march nowhere. We just go to our living room or our respectable rooms, and we get on here and we tell the truth. And that's what we do. And that's all we do. So I appreciate y'all. Craig says, I agree, Kenny. Black people just have to start treating each other better. We treat each other worse than white people sometimes. Yeah,
that's true sometimes.
That's a whole conversation, though, Craig. But they better stop undercooking my greens when I go over there. No, just teasing. All right, y'all, listen. Oh, my goodness, sister, you ain't drink that water up, buddy, have you? All right, I got a good one for us. I checked with a few people before I went here, and I didn't care what they said anyway, so I said I'm gonna go here anyway. So I have something that I'm gonna put some weight on us, and I want us to talk about this. We talked about it last week about not removing the L, which means love, instead of calling folks fags. You know, we just help them, you know what I'm saying, and we love on them, and we keep their flag as they want it. And so, again, my passion is the injustice in the church. And so what better way but to allow someone, I don't invalidate anyone's experience. I don't. I think that's inappropriate to do if that happened, unless I think you're delusional. And shout out to my homeboy's fake baby mama who never was pregnant anyway. So that's delusion to me, right? So anyway, but I'll move on from that. So, but this is a real woman. She went through this, and she spoke something that I felt needed to be talked about, especially for those that we have our fingers and we can touch. So let's talk about God and the flag. Y'all check this out. I got two of them, but we're going to talk about the first one, and then we'll talk about the second. Here it is.
I felt like I was attracted to the same sex, and I didn't know what to do with it, didn't feel the freedom to talk to anybody about it. And then even as a teenager, just kind of wrestling with stuff and just eventually submitting to it. The thing about feelings is God made them. God created us with the capacity to feel. And the main reason he did it is so that we could glorify him with our feelings. I can't trust my feelings because my feelings really ultimately have no authority. The word of God is the ultimate authority in everything. And so if I put my feelings above scripture, I'm going to be led to death every single time. I choose God because I love God. And that's not to say that there isn't the still present gnawing of my flesh to want what I used to love, which is sin, which is lesbianism, which is women, which is pride. But what the Holy Spirit does when he comes inside of somebody is he completely makes them.
All right, listen, Black says all the time, we are a family that can agree to disagree without being disagreeable. And I'm not pushing nothing on nobody. I'm just gonna have a conversation. And so if you don't agree, what I'm about to say, I ain't asking you to, but at least just hear what I got to say and hear what everybody else has to say, right? So before I say my statement, thank you, Ms. Tori. All right, baby. I didn't say his name or her name, so all right. Don't talk about folks. All right. So, sister, what you think about this young lady making that statement?
I don't have a problem with that, but I will give you a little bit of education. That F word is what I call it. That is that community's N word.
Slang, yeah.
Okay. So I've just taken that out of my vocabulary. So if y'all notice that I don't say it, that's why. Because just like I expect white people to respect the N word for me, being like our word, and that I don't even really use, I just try to respect that. So that's the only reason why I won't say that word. But I think everyone has their own version of their own God. And what I've been taught in my upbringing all my life, as far as meeting with the church, is I realized that is not the God that I worship anymore. I actually still believe in God. I still pray. I just don't believe some of the things that I've been taught, because God also gave me common sense. And so I don't think that because you are gay, that your belief in God is supposed to change. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of elderly people. My mom even said it once to, recently, but she still believes that if you're gay, you can't go to heaven. You automatically like damned to hell. But the hoes and the pimps and the everybody else, they get to go to heaven for. I mean, nothing makes sense to me. But then in the same breath, at the same church, they'll say no sin is greater than another until you start talking about homosexuality. So it's none of that makes sense to me. So I do believe that they are okay. Anyone is okay to worship the God of their choosing and to believe the beliefs of their choosing.
I love that's why I brought this conversation to us. I appreciate that. Kenny, what you thinking, brother?
The one thing that really caught me in her dialogue was that she decided to put facts over feelings when it came to scripture, and I thought that was an interesting thing because we're a spiritual being technically living in a human body, and I just wonder. So she's basically suppressing who she really is, in my opinion. Now, can you be delivered from homosexuality? I guess so. I think some that say that you can't. And now she kind of debunks the theory that most people are born, if you're homosexual, you're born that way. Well, I think listening to her, she kind of debunked that, in my opinion. I think that in some instances, if you decide that you want to live a different type of lifestyle and you pray and you put in the work, God can deliver you. So I thought that was an interesting testimony that she had, and that's what I gathered from it.
Very good. All right, Reverend Black. Reverend, come on. Now you know I'm teasing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, where do I go? Because I could go so many places, but I'm gonna keep it
So
short.
many. Yeah.
So I will use the word FAG if you piss me off, because again, I'm that dude. I don't use it on a regular basis only because the word is kind of outdated, but yeah, so that I thought that was just interesting. I'll start that way as well. But now, having said that, I don't go around using it to hate, when I see somebody that's gay, for me personally, unless you just go out of your way to identify as gay, I don't care. I truly don't care. Now, of course, I think we talked about before, you got some people that obviously go out of their way to, the effeminate men or the butch women or whatever, blah, blah, and that's fine. I personally don't care. That's why I said about working out my own salvation. Look, folks, I got enough shit going on with me to worry about me. That at the end of the day, when I go in that room at night and I kneel and I talk to my God, that's my own individual relationship. I tell people I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, because I've seen way too much hypocrisy in organized religion. At the end of the day, I don't know what that's going to mean, but it shapes who I am, and I try to be the best version of myself. Having said that, let's look what that young lady had to say. I personally believe sexual orientation is a choice. Now, with that said, you know, we get to choose whatever brand and nasty, filthy, no good sex that we want to choose. And I don't think any version of it is any above the other, personally, for me. And I don't get to judge on that. So for listening to what she said, that's her struggle. That's what she's dealing with. No different, though, than the struggle I deal with. I love hoes. I love them. Love nasty hoes. But I fight against going out there because it's going to put me in the clinic. So I have to keep those feelings under control. I have to curb my behaviors and reshape how I look at things. And that does mean suppressing sometimes things that I might want to do and think better of it. And every now and then I slip up or whatnot. You know, oh, she talking to me?
Go ahead, Devin.
I said, but does suppressing that now make you not not heterosexual? They're still homosexual even if they suppress it.
And so that's how they identify. But I think that's a choice personally. So I don't subscribe to the idea that a person is born that way. Never will. We don't even have to argue about it. You know, for me, my core beliefs and what I've been raised on, that's always going to be a choice that you make. Just because psychologists, sociologists, and I don't care however many people say it, this is how I feel, you know, and nobody's ever going to be able to change that. So my thing is that's the choice that we have to make each and every day to be the best versions of ourselves. And if that's her struggle, that she's contending against that in favor of her belief system in the scriptures, bravo, young lady, because I face that same struggle.
Master Prophet, we'll get with you in just a second. Hold on one second, please, Prophet. Okay, before I make my statement, since I always one of them fools in there, right?
Right.
Yeah. I'm gonna show up the second clip, and then because I want to have my full thought in her whole statement. So let's see the second part.
I think it's a habit of some to assume that somebody coming to the Lord who is same-sex attracted, that coming to Christ means that your old affections will be done away with, that somehow you will become straight, that somehow you'll just desire marriage overnight and have kids and all of that type of stuff. And a lot of times it's presented like a kind of gospel, as if having heterosexual desires are actually a fruit of the Spirit and not self-control. There are many believers who love Jesus, are filled with the Spirit, are bearing the fruits of the Spirit, and are committed to a life of celibacy because they, as far as they know, will never find themselves attracted to the opposite sex. But the thing is, they are just as glorifying to the Father as I might be, being someone who God happened to allow to walk in a heterosexual marriage and have children. But the thing is, my marriage is not evidence of salvation, but the fruit of the Spirit is evidence of salvation. I was bearing the fruits of the Spirit far before I ever met my husband.
All right, sister.
Well, I'll be honest. Can I just tell the truth?
1,000.
I call so much bull on that because here's the thing. If I meet a flaming gay dude and he tell me, look here, girl, I have been delivered from the penis and I want some cookies today. And I do everything. I'm hanging from the ceiling. I'm doing flips. I'm whatever. I'm sucking and licking and playing his booty hole. Everything I got to do to make this man want me. He's still, in my mind, going to be sneaking behind my back, sucking pink. I just don't believe that you can just suppress those feelings. You get another Hennessy in this hole, she gonna be licking on some cooch. I'm just telling you, the full of it. She could tell me that all she wants to, and she could fight them demons all she wants to, but she gonna, and if he ain't gonna be giving her threesomes, she gonna be somewhere coming home smelling like sardines. That's all I'm gonna say. 'Cause I don't.
Okay, no, hey, listen, we could handle it, and I wanted to have a conversation. Kenny, what you think about the other part?
Man, boy, you got me following Devin after that
I'm sorry.
testimony.
I can
But
go up
you
to
know
your brother,
what?
and then you can have a fit
No,
with that.
I'm gonna say this. I can't win following either one of them when they get crunk. But anyway, but I have to agree with Devin. I think when you talk about suppressing your natural feeling, I think that's like playing with dynamite. I think it's always gonna be there. I think you can try to play the role and be the nice conforming wife or whatever in a heterosexual relationship, or if it's a man, he gets married, and I just think at the end of the day, you are who you are. You really are, and I think you to be thine self be true. I really believe that. I think God will still love you to thine self be true. Be who you are, and do that. Don't fake the funk. Be who you are.
Gotcha. All right, preacher. One more girl around.
I do believe people can change behaviors. Now, having said that, because again, I'm using my own example. I think about who I was. I played porn every single day. That was just a natural part of who I was. Now, was my addiction to porn and to do those things greater than what I've never had a fat one in my mouth, so I don't know. Maybe the power of the dick is just that powerful. I don't know, but I can only tell you that.
I almost hit you, right? But
no. So I'm going on what Sister Devin was saying. So I know snatch is a pretty powerful thing. You know what I'm saying? And again, the pull of it was pretty great. The pull of it was so great at one point that I was a sexaholic. And that led me to behavior. I hunted them streets like a serial killer. Prostitutes, whatever. I was addicted to sex. And it led me down some dark places of chlamydia 4 times in a row, and I did ungodly numbers. There had to come a point where I had to change some of those behaviors, and so I hardly ever watch porn now. I just don't have a need for it or whatever. So I guess I do believe behaviors can change if you modify your behavior and your thinking. Now, again, I don't have the pull of same sex, so I don't know. I don't know, what that pull would be like. But I think if you want to change something, you can. I do believe that.
Oh, y'all know this could have been a whole conversation from 8 o'clock on to this moment, right? So I'm going to say this, and I appreciate everybody's position. And if we got more to say, that's cool. But if not, we'll move on. Brahma says, I do believe God can deliver you from anything. And again, I don't want to get in the weeds. That's what I'm not going to do. But I just want to say this. I'm not speaking for God. I'm going to just tell you the same thing. God, I'm going to tell the LGBTQ community the same thing God told me. It's impossible to please him and our flesh at the same time. And to Black's point, just as he enjoyed chasing them women, right? And he has to, y'all said suppress, but he has to make an intentional decision not to go after those things. And here's the thing about homosexuality. If the Bible speaks of it as something that God dislikes, equally as Devin said, as he does for the whoremongering or anything that is considered a sin, then as a person who says they love God, and I remember Devin making this point one time, right? You said you would never cheat on the person you're with. That's a decision you make. And so if you love someone enough, whatever you selfishly desire to have, and again, this speaks to what I was saying to Black on his show about, does God want us to be happy? No, that's not his intent. And what I meant by that is if you feel happiness is you pleasing your flesh, then that's not what God desires. Suffering is involved in it. So if happiness means that you will do whatever God desires you to do to please him, then yes, God wants you to be happy. Because guess what? It's fulfilling his will. But the moment you desire to fulfill your selfish pleasure, that's hetero, homo, whatever, then at that moment, you are doing yourself a disservice to representing the Christ likeness. That's it. So he don't hate gays more than he hate anybody else. But at the same time, he requires us to reject our pleasures, our fleshly pleasures in life, to want to live a life that's pleasing to him. That's hetero or homo. So it doesn't even matter, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna leave it at that because we could go all day unless y'all got something else to say.
I mean, I just think you maybe shouldn't have a partner for a while. I think it's easier for a woman. Let's be honest. We're talking about biology.
Really?
I'm able to have intercourse with a man, whether I desire you or not. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a homosexual man and I'm in a relationship with you, you may not react to me, and that wouldn't be fair to your partner.
You think it's harder on? Yeah, we could really go down some.
If you're not attracted to me, you may not be able to get an erection from anything that I do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But as a woman, I
Okay.
can figure out ways to get around that to make sure I'm still acknowledging my partner's needs and feelings and things like that. So I think you start to get into the weeds with things of that nature. Until you are truly, quote unquote, delivered, you may need to just not have a partner for a while, because then that partner is unhappy and feeling neglected and unloved and undesired.
I'll only challenge that to say this. I slept with many hoes that I wasn't attracted to at all.
Because they have vagina. You wanted vagina.
No, it was something to do. And there was some cases where it was just something to do. Some of the ugliest women you ever want to imagine. And it was something to do. And for me, it was an experiment. I can genuinely sit here and tell you there's women I've slept with that had nothing to do with them. Nothing.
But now you got me to ask questions of bottoms that are homosexuals.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Leave that alone.
Hold on.
And that's why I said.
Ask, so we're gonna leave it alone.
And that's why I said we could go all the way.
Yeah.
We'll go round and round with this one.
Listen, we may come to a place where we can spend a whole moment on this, and I don't have a problem, especially if the community wants to hear it, if the family wants to talk about it. I'm down, so it's not a problem. I'll just say this point too, because I've heard a few people make this statement. No, it's not. There's no deliverance. They can't show me that in the Bible. I know they talking that stuff all day. It's no different than somebody being delivered from pornography or being delivered from wanting to be with multiple women. There's no deliverance in that. That's a maturation, right? That you go through, and you say, I'm going to like resist that urge to do these things. That's
where we disagree on that part. We disagree on some of those points, and like again, I still disagree with God don't want us to be happy, but I
got you. Yeah. And again, listen, that's why we got all the time in the world. As long as we got breath in our body, we're gonna keep talking about this.
Oh, yes, sir.
And again, yes, we can sure keep the conversation going. Okay, Miss Tori, and we'll do it. We may even set aside a time just to come on here a different time. I know Devin got a lot of traveling she does, so maybe we just pick a day.
Yeah.
Then we have we got to catch
flights. She's flying out somewhere.
But again, thank you all for letting us have this conversation, and so people can hear and at least take things and begin to challenge others who just bumping their gums, because while they telling y'all to stop doing something, they keep doing it in the back doors. So I'm just telling y'all.
That point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they lying. All right. Good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're at one of the times. Now listen, this preacher coming off the dome right here. Jim Crow 2.0.
I truly was struggling with something to talk about, but when I tell you just the organic nature of this show from the very first segment. Brenton, you said something from the very first story we were talking about. You said, if you don't watch it, they're going to have us back to 40 Acres and a Mule. And it's just that it developed the topic throughout this show. Then we ended kind of getting about Dr. King. I can't make this up because I never look at the topics. And what made me come up with this subject was when I look around, we got more millionaires than ever any time in history. In many ways, we have more freedoms than we've ever had. But at the same time, when you look at where we are as a people, are we further along than we was back in the 60s? The Jim Crow laws, they were state and local laws introduced in the South, Southern United States, in the 19th and early 20th centuries that enforced racial segregation. And it was named after a minstrel character, Jim Crow, and it's basically designed to keep Black people down. And if you defied those laws, you faced arrest, fines, jail sentences, violence, and death. Folks, what's changed? We just spent this entire show talking about some of those same things that are happening right now. And that question you asked about what we fight for in justice could have set it up even better. Economic power, just injustices you see in the church, women empowerment, and treating people like they deserve to be treated. Folks, even this last subject on Black love, you know what it highlights to me? Just how far we got to go.
Yeah.
But when we look at the election cycle, folks, this is almost like Groundhog Day. We're repeating the same cycle. And if we don't watch it, we're getting swept up in something that in reality, it's not meant for us to do any better, folks. Quiet is kept. The Supreme Court has passed the law eliminating affirmative action. And in the world I live in, it has already started to seep into how they're treating us as people. When you think about diversity, equity, and inclusion, we only make up 14% of the population, folks. We are congregated in about a dozen states. Whether you know it or not, it's systemized ghetto because we all pushed in one corral in one little area. What does it say that this young man who had so much hatred in his heart could go and find us, to go and exactly seek us out? Folks, we've got to think bigger than what's happening in this election cycle. I said this before and I'll say it again. Brother Kenny, you talked about the economic power and growth. We've got to take note of the fact that if we don't band together, this is just destined to keep repeating itself. It doesn't matter who gets in office. That top office, they don't care about us. We've got to make some harsh decisions. And even when you look at the collective of this show, I love the fact that we agree to disagree, but we need to open up this dialogue to bring everybody inclusively into the conversation so that we can include the gay, the straight, it doesn't matter until we all figure out that we are all in one boat together. And if we don't watch it, we're destined to go right back to those Jim Crow laws that's held us down for 100 years, and we'll be locked into this cycle for the next 100 years. So I don't have all the answers, but that's what it came up with.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Man, I appreciate it, y'all. That is Martin, that is Russell, that is all I can think of. Malcolm, all rolled into one. Demi, I want us to have this conversation because I when we talk, I believe that we are saying the same things. We're just playing on words.
Yes.
I believe we're playing on words. And
yes.
That's what the bobbleheads do. They just keep talking and bringing semantics into this thing. So I agree. I don't disagree. I just believe that we just got to do it in love and stop making people feel like that one is better than the other. I encourage everyone to share this to all your social media platforms. Please do. Thank you so much. Y'all, listen, the family worked really hard. We in overtime, and I appreciate y'all. It's final thoughts. Sister, thank you so much. Let me have your final thoughts.
I think in the perfect world for me, I used to think about this, and I did originally want to do it like in real estate, but now I'm feeling like at some point real estate agents are going to be obsolete. And so then I start thinking about other avenues that people can go into. But in my perfect world, you know, as a Black person, or whatever, you create a business where you allow those people in who are hard workers and have the skills and have the talent and have the want to do things, and you allow them to come in and utilize those skills and get to where they want to get in life based strictly on the kind of work that they do. Because I acknowledged this proverbial glass ceiling a long time ago, and I know that there are some things that I don't care what I do, what I accomplish, how hard I try, what I show. There are just some areas in life that I will never accomplish unless I get to the right person who has the same mindset as me. And I realize that in my industry, that may not happen. So I have to figure out a new way. I don't know that way. I'm going to start thinking about that way. But and as a woman who I also like to advocate for women, especially women of color, because I feel like we have to do so much, and you find yourself being the person who knows everything and does everything to help other people that are not you get far in life, and they just get all the credit for it with your skills and your talent and your wherewithal. So I just think we have to try, and as Black women, we have to figure out how to get together. And I don't want to say it's just a Black woman thing. Women who support everyone for the right thing. Similar to what Black said, I'm just judging you based on the content of your character, your skills, and what you can do. I just feel like we have to figure out a way to come together so that we can achieve things and we can gain that generational wealth without handing you anything, but with all of us kind of helping each other out. That's my goal in life. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to figure something out.
I know that's right. Good job. My brother, Kenny, spokesman.
Yes, sir.
Give me your final thoughts, brother. Thank you so much.
A great show as always. I think this is one of the shows that we agreed to disagree more in this show than I think in every other show that we've ever had. and we did it with nobody yelling and screaming at each other. We just we said our piece and we kept it moving. So, and that's how mature people do it, with intelligence.
Yes, sir.
But I just want to leave with this, man. We need political power. And the reason why I say we need political power, I just ran across an article on today. Tennessee State Representative Justin Jones, who's a Democrat. He's part of the Tennessee Three. Y'all remember?
Yeah,
but he was ousted. Well, he was silenced today by Republican House Speaker Cameron Sexton during a special session that Republican Governor Bill Lee called in reaction to that deadly shooting at that Christian elementary school in Nashville in March. And he was silenced because, according to the House Speaker, he was getting off topic because he wanted to talk about gun legislation. Make that make sense? Ain't that what the special session was supposed to be about?
Right.
All right. So here's what I want to say to my people, my Black folks. It's all good. I'm about Black empowerment, but we got to get some political empowerment, man. And what that means is we got to find those that's got our best interest at heart. And when I say best interest, I don't mean them talking about, if you don't vote for me, then you must not be Black. I'm talking about we got to put some money up, and we got to get some people in the office that's gonna deliver for us, because we got power. I know we only make up 13% of the population, but at the end of the day, when it comes to these elections, we got power. So let's get together and create our own political party, in my opinion. So that's my final thoughts for tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Madam, you were good tonight. I forgot you. You ain't said nothing today.
Yeah, being quiet.
Yeah. Well, say something before you go. Say something crazy before you go. Before Black get through. Come on, say something crazy. Come on, brother. Give me a final thought.
So I don't have as much confidence, Brother Kenny, in the political structure. I'm jaded. I'm just too jaded. And I love what you have to say. And I pray you're right. Brother Brenton, I don't have any faith anymore in the religious system. My faith is shaken to its core in institutions. I more like what Sister Devin said, I don't know what the answers are, but I love what both of you said collectively. I do know where I don't believe in institutions, I still believe in us. Still believe in us as a people. My hope then is that we can get past this stage of effery and foolishness. I'm being good, Miss Nihar, and get past that stage. And we need to include everybody. The truth of the matter is, my generation don't have all the answers. We damn sure know the young generation don't have all the answers. The agenda that the LGBT community, we have to start some kind of way pooling it together so that we can rid ourselves of these institutions that have been standing so long that truly have made a permanent underclass. Brother Brent, you talk about all the time about forget about these little sects. It's about money and class system.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so I'm at this stage in my life where I don't care what you do in your bedroom. I don't care what your nationality are. But guess what? It's so many of us in this same boat that's struggling as far as the permanent underclass. That's where the real power is. And there's a movie on network where the man swings his head out the window. He said, I'm tired as hell and I can't take it no more. I want to scream at the top of my lungs at the powers that be because I have zero faith in them, but I still have faith in people and I have my faith in God. And trying to reconcile the two of them together, that's my daily struggle, folks.
Well, struggle on, brother. Struggle on. We got another 60 more years till we have another. But anyway, yeah. All right, y'all. Listen quickly. I ain't gonna mess around. I'm just asking a quick question. If there was a platform that you were able to enjoy, if you had a stage, if you can be on there, whose stage would you enjoy being on the most? Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey, Beyonce, you know, whose platform? Joel Osteen. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, platform. Okay. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would. Let me go. You know, I'm a sports guy. So
Yes, sir.
So my guy from Compton, straight out of Compton, California, my guy Marcellus Wiley. That's
Okay.
my dude. Yeah, I would love to be on this platform.
On the platform with him. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, Lee, sister. What platform would you love to stand on stage and enjoy?
I want to be on stage with Miss Erica Badu. That's my girl.
Bag lady.
I would come see both of y'all pretty women.
Uh-oh.
For
Thank
real.
you so much, Miss Tori. Yeah, I appreciate that.
TNT with Charles Barkley and them. Best job on TV.
That's a good one.
Best
too.
job on TV.
I would dig that one too. Good one.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Listen, I
Yeah.
love it. Oh, I appreciate y'all. Y'all win exactly where I want y'all to go. Well, look here, Miss Tori, we would love to have you on this platform anytime you get ready. God bless you too, Miss Demi. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
All right. Well, look here. Let's take a look at this platform. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this.
Please put my hand. Drop your
Well, that was one I would want to be on. I can tell you that. I would pass on that one.
Yeah, listen. All I'm gonna say is just make sure that wherever platform you desire to be on, make sure your character can keep you there. Because if it can't, you may end up looking like this.
Please put my hand. Drop your
Listen, all the king's horsemen, and all the king's
All
men.
the keys me.
ain't
God,
gonna be
Willie was lying.
What?
couldn't put that Humpty Dumpty back
Back
together
together again.
Oh, y'all, but listen, I love the platform that we on. What you say, Miss Tori? Wish that was Trump.
I know that's right, Miss Tori.
One day
Already.
he'll never make it, but it's okay,
Yeah.
Miss Tori. Listen, y'all, thank y'all. Y'all work real hard. That's Kenny, that's Lee, and that's Devin. Y'all, we won't be there Monday, but we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Peace.
Peace out.